pretty princess.
Check out this sink.
Wow, I'm a sink from the future.
Ba-bam-bam. Can I pay for it? Hello, people! It's me, Gazbot. We're back for 100 Days of Making Comics. Today is day 97. Day 97! Can you believe it? 97! That's 7 more days than 90. Anyway, I did my half hour today, working on the horror A4, but only my half hour. I'm quite tired. Just like yesterday, it was a very busy day. I foolishly decided to go for a bike ride with my buddy before then driving an hour to do this hangout with Q and some of her friends. I guess it would either be called the big hangout or a small party or whatever. So I enjoyed both, but it was just a full day and got back, close to midnight. And then did a half hour on the horror. And again, it's one of those days where I'm glad and not glad I'm doing this, because I definitely would not have worked on my project today if I wasn't committed to it. So I'm like, yeah, I got that work in, but at the same time, like, I wish I could just like relax and then go to bed. But I didn't. I did the work. I'm still working on that same panel. I made some progress, mainly doing background of the wall and a little bit of gray. I'll throw up a crossfade to show you the difference. It's not super impressive, but just the, hey, I did do work, here it is. So here it is. Crossfade. So there's that. That's the only art I worked on today. I wanted to say also, there are some new members to the 100s. And again, as always, if I'm forgetting people, I'm not going to list all the ones that I've already listed, but just the new ones that I think I have not mentioned yet. One is Pharoah Bolding, who apparently he did it the first time around but didn't finish. So this is his, what was he calling it? Re-energizing, re-up, revamp, re-animated, I don't remember, but it's a re-something, and he's doing it again. I guess he got his comic out last time, but then he just kind of stopped after 80 or whatever, so he's like, I'm going to do it for real this time. And so I checked out his first video, and I think he's going to do the thing where he updates the video once a week, but then he has a blog you can go to. His link's below. And I was excited by the fact that he's a fellow toy collector, and he mentioned Power Rangers and used the word henshin. So, yes! Anyway, the other person who I honestly can't remember if I've mentioned her or not, so I'm going to just out of safety, is Darken Marr, who is doing a similar, update once a week blog thing, and I may have mentioned her before, so I'll just put a link below just in case I didn't. And I think with them I've mentioned everybody that's doing it. If there's somebody I'm forgetting, if you're watching this and you know I'm forgetting someone, or if you got forgot, let me know. Probably on day 99 or 100 I'll make sure to like get a comprehensive list of everybody that's still doing it that I could list as like my final, well, I'm leaving, but these people are still doing it. So there's that. One thing that happened at the party today, well, I had a lot of, I was going to say, one thing that happened is I had a discussion. I had a lot of discussions. I'm going to stand up. Look how tall I am. Look how tall I am. I'm not that tall. So anyway, we were talking, it was mostly tech people. I was the only artist, and everybody there was way more techie than me. And they were talking about Apple and the app stores and the way Android is better, and oh, people are willing to pay money for convenience, blah, blah, blah. And I weighed in a few times sort of from the point of view of like, look, I'm like a casual average consumer, and I'm not saying you're wrong about these things, but the reason people are willing to get iPhones rather than Androids or whatever is because it is easier, and while the money might go to Apple instead of a video game store or whatever, they had various things, they're like, well, don't you see the funneling? And they're like, yes, but that doesn't affect me as an end user, and I'm not saying that it might not be bad for the industry, and I'm not saying good points, but it's just hard for me to be invested because I don't work in that field, and I'm not interested in doing all the fancy stuff, because like, we have to buy the apps now. I'm like, I don't have to buy any apps. There's no functionality that I'm missing that I feel the need to buy an app for. So maybe as more of a power user, you have to do that. But, but I basically was like, I feel like you guys are right, but I just find it hard to even understand what I'm supposed to be upset about, basically, But then it shifted somehow, and one of the guys, and I got along with everybody, but one of the guys was talking about, man, how did it come up? I don't remember how it came up, but it basically, he started talking about the 99 Design site. I don't know if you've heard of this site. I've probably talked broadly about doing work for free and things like that and how it's a mistake and you shouldn't do it. But 99 Designs is a specific site, and it's good. It's almost like a poster child for everything that's wrong with, professional illustration, or freelance illustration, or self-employed illustration, however you want to describe it, in that it, and here's the thing, this isn't the first person I've heard use it that I know, and I understand why people would use it. I'm going to take a step back and another step back. Then I'm going to stand up straighter. Ha ha ha! Anyway, I understand why an end user would use it, meaning that the person who goes to the site and utilizes it I mean, I feel I have trouble blaming them. I feel like a little bit of ignorance of the way things work and what they might get, if they were a little more educated, might help them. But I don't think their intent is bad, and I see what they're getting out of it. Because, well, let me describe the site. The site idea, the concept is, hey, you want to design for your book, you want to design for your company's logo, you want an illustration for whatever, come to our site, sign up for, you know, whatever service. I don't know if it costs anything to join, or I don't think it does, but then you pay per design. Like, okay, I'm willing to pay $400 for this new logo design. We'll then send you 99 designs from 99 different designers, specific to your specifications, and you could like send back corrections, get it made right. Then when they're all done, you pick the one you like best, they get paid, the rest walk away. So you got all this extra work for like way less money, and that's what you get. So now, from a consumer point of view, I can see the appeal of that. Like normally you'd have to go through that with one artist and, you know, whatever, and this way you're getting all these different views. And from the point of view of the person who created the company and the website, while I don't like their product, I understand where they're coming from of like, hey, I know a way I can make some money by sort of being a middleman, you know, between somebody who wants art and people who want to create art, and I'll take my little piece and whatever. So again, I'm not a fan of that, but I understand it. But the people I get really annoyed with are the artists that participate in this. Because, I mean, and a lot of what I talk about when I talk about artists, I mean professional artists. People that want to make a living at this, people that, you know, are not hobbyists. They're not, you know, just drawing for themselves. But honestly, even if you're a hobbyist, why would you be a hobbyist drawing for someone else? If you're just drawing for the love of it, for the fun of it for yourself, I don't understand why you'd ever be like, oh man, maybe I'll just do a menu design for free. Like, really? That's what you're passionate about? That's what's fun for you? That you're, you know, taking time out from your 9 to 5 and you're just going to do a free menu design? Like, again, if it's your brother-in-law or something, that's different. But, so, what I think, it's probably a lot of students and a lot of people who are willing to take any job they can or just get their foot in the door or whatever. But even the terminology this site uses infuriates me, because it calls it like a contest, and it's like the contest winner will then get the prize money. Contest winner gets the prize money. It's a job. How is this a contest? Is maybe I'll win a new car from caller 57. A contest is, you know, I have the biggest pumpkin. A contest is I did the most jumping jacks. A contest isn't, let me put a lot of work into a project that I'm trying to meet your specifications, and then if you don't like it, I get nothing. You know, but if you like it, then you just pay me what I should have been paid to begin with. You know, that's not a contest, and the whole thing is just terrible. It's bad for artists, because that means, you know, there's a 98% chance. I'm bad at it. They only have a 1 in 99% chance. A 1 out of 99 numbers are not my friends. A 1 in 99 chance of getting paid for the work, and people take it to completion. It's not like a rough sketch, you know, of getting paid for their work. And now you can argue, like, well, if they're good enough, there could be 10 amazing artists. Then you have a 1 in 10 chance of being paid for your work. You should be paid for your work. And there should be milestones. And if the client doesn't like the way it's going, they get canceled. You don't do the work, they don't pay the money. Fine. There was like a little bit of time, your time wasted, a little bit of their money wasted, but, you know, whatever. So, first of all, you're basically saying, I'm most likely not going to get paid for this, and I'm okay with that. And then, on top of that, like, from the client point of view, they are going to get substandard work. They're going to get people that aren't necessarily professional. And I don't mean in terms of skill, but just in terms of meeting deadlines and knowing how to work with a client. And a lot of the things I saw in some of the samples just look like, oh, people put together quick fonts. And like, I feel like a lot of what's going to be on there are like overseas art studios, or even here's art studios, where they're just like, oh, they want duck jumper. Okay, take 15 fonts, write duck jumper, and put 15 colors. Throw all those up there. You know, which is like, is that really the quality this person's looking for whatever they end up paying for it? And I could see people doing a lot of scatter shot. Like, that's the only way it would work. It's like, I'm just going to throw out tons of work with very little effort, and if a few of them pay off, then I made my money for the day. But it's very emblematic of this problem, which, you know, I'm not the first artist to talk about it. It's not the first time I've talked about it. But it's the whole thing of, like, you know, you can't get a plumber to do that. You can't get an accountant to do that. You can't get a person that works at McDonald's to do that. You can't be like, well, let's have 10 of you make me a hamburger, and then whichever the one I like, I'll buy that one. You know, like, why is that okay? Why do we not value art, whether it's the passion and the heart and the vision of like the artist, or just the skill of a craftsman who has put all that time in it? We as a society don't value it. And while that annoys me, and while there are entrepreneurs and business people who will see a way to make money off of this dynamic, and I don't appreciate that, Both of those things I can wrap my head around, but I mainly get infuriated at the artists that are like, yeah, that's fine, we don't value our art either, and we don't value your art, and like, I get in discussions online in real life where it's like, well, I just, you know, whatever, I mean, it's not, it only took me a couple hours, it's $20, and, well, no, I don't think you should charge that much, and what's wrong with me just doing it? It's like, why are you okay with this? Why do you have such low self-esteem? And, you know, I mean, I have tons of low self-esteem about my art, and I criticize myself all the time, but I'm not giving it away for free. You know what I mean? It's still effort, and if I am giving it away for free, it's a picture of a monster that I wanted to draw that I just put online, people could see. It's not, you know, it's not the cover to your album, you know? So I get I have a hard time dealing with a lot of artists that are just like, don't think about the money or don't care about the money. If that's the kind of artist you are, that's fine. But then you are the kind of fine artist that has a grant, or you're living at home, or you have some other means of income where you don't have to worry about it, and you're not looking to please a client. And that's totally different. If you're just in the basement painting for yourself or sculpting what you feel, like, that's not me, but I get that, and I have a respect for that sort of art. And then eventually somebody might buy your art as is and say, oh, I like this, and buy it, and it goes in a gallery, or whatever. That's that type of artist. You're not thinking about money, fine. You're a hobbyist. You like, you know, drawing pictures for your kids and make little children's books that you pass out to your family, or, you know, you like painting murals on your friend's wall, or you like doing comics just for yourself, or, you know, I don't have a problem with that. It's the people that are doing professional level work, professional style work, getting jobs that theoretically I could have, and undervaluing themselves, thereby hurting themselves, thereby hurting me, thereby hurting all of us. Because then the next time I go to get a job, I'm like, yeah, I want, you know, $100 for that. It's like, oh, the last 3 guys I got paid 10, you know, and it's like, well, did they do a good job? Probably not, you know. And I was saying that I've gotten some of those clients that they'll pay me a reasonable rate, and they'll tell me a story of like, yeah, you're like the 3rd person I hired. I got this guy from the Philippines, and he didn't really speak English, and it was a hard back and forth because of the time difference, blah, 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 and so it didn't really work out. And then I went to, you know, like Elance, and this guy bid the lowest, but then he turned it in late, and then this other, you know, and so they've been burned like 3 times, and so like, okay, look, I'm willing to pay the extra to get a professional. And it stinks that they have to go through that for everybody. But I keep coming back to it. Everybody I blame you artists out there that undervalue yourself. And there's always the exposure, get the exposure, build up your portfolio, and when people say that to me, it makes me nuts. And again, I know I'm not alone in this, but it's kind of like, it bears repeating because it still happens all the time, you know, and I'll have this conversation with people all the time, whether it's a young artist or someone thinking about hiring an artist, or like, it's such a prevalent mindset of like, you know, well, I'm a new company and I don't really have the money to pay that, so you should just do it. It's like, well, if you don't have the money to pay for this work, then you're not ready to start your company. You really can't put a couple $100 in to get like a cheap-ass logo design, that's too much for you? Then you're really not ready, are you? You really need to save up some money and get some investors, or like, you know, you don't go into it and be like, oh, I can't really afford a computer right now, so I'm still going to start my company anyway and just hope somebody gives me a computer, or I get one for cheap somehow. You know, it's a component of what you need for your business, supposedly, so be willing to allocate the funds that it deserves, especially if you want a quality product, especially if you want it professionally done, in terms of, you know, revisions and whatever else you need, and communication, because you're also much more likely to get an artist who's going to be like, well, I don't want to change it, and have their feelings hurt because they're not a professional. What I'm saying though, the thing that keeps with the portfolio piece, exposure, any version of that, get money on the back end, any version of that is garbage. You hear any of that stuff, don't take the job. It is garbage. It is only going to hurt your career. It will never help your career. I have never once taken a job for the exposure, for the money we're going to get on the back end, for the whatever, and then gotten any money, let alone the big riches and fame. If someone has the next South Park, they should be willing to pay you money rather than be like, well, yo, I'll give you a percentage. You really believe you got the next South Park and you can't throw me a couple $100 to get it off the ground? Then either you're lying or you don't believe in your own vision. So stop it. If I want to work on portfolio pieces, I can do that all the time. And there's nothing wrong with doing pieces for yourself. And this is one of the things I said. I said, if I'm going to work for free, I'd rather work for myself, on my own stuff. And they're like, well, yeah, but then you're not getting corporate experience if you want to get that kind of work, and you're not doing the kind of work that is professionally done, blah, blah, blah. There's a slight point there. And that's true if I'm just working on comics of the horror for myself, or drawing robots for myself. Although, I still say I'd rather do that than be doing corporate work for free. But my answer to that is, if you need to build up your portfolio, look at these job assignments, kind of get a feel for what they're looking for, look at your portfolio. If you don't have anything that fits that, do some stuff for yourself, not for them. This way you're on your own timetable, you can do what you think is good, and if it's, you know, if you're looking at a place that has a lot of like car posters, maybe do a couple car posters for yourself. You don't do it for them. You do it so you can have it on your own site, you maintain the rights to it, you can make a print of it, sell the print, you can do whatever you want, and then if you get the job or don't, you're not out anything. You've practiced, you've got new samples, you own the samples, you can make prints, you know, whereas if you do it for them, you might not be able to show it, there might be some kind of copyright thing, you know, you don't, it's giving it away. And this comes to contests too. Especially a lot of t-shirt companies have these contests. Garbage. Garbage! Especially because it's the same thing of like, oh, everybody submits 100 designs and, you know, in this case like thousands, and whoever wins gets like $500. It's like, why would you do that? Now, I have been tempted once or twice to do this, and and the reason I was tempted was because it was like for Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers or He-Man or something that interested me, where like, you know what, I kind of feel like drawing that anyway, and it would be cool, I'll have a print of it, and like kind of what I said, like, well, if I don't get this, if I don't win this contest job thing, I'm not going to regret drawing this, and I'll make a print of it and sell it or whatever. However, what stopped me, and I remember specifically it was a Ninja Turtle, I want to say for Threadless, and they're like, I understand if you win, they get the rights to the piece of art. But if you submit, they get the rights to the piece of art. If you submit, they never use it, you don't win, you get nothing. You just did a piece of art, give it to them, you no longer have the rights to it. Why would anybody do that? Don't do that. If you're a student, if you're in school, if you're just dying to get your work out there, put it on the internet. Print it up at Kinko's, give it away free at the library. Either one of those things is going to do you better. Either one of those things is going to do the industry better. Don't give your art away for free. Ever, unless it's your mom or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, something like that, or if it's a charity you feel good about. That was the other thing I said. Okay, you want to give your work away for free, you don't trust yourself to make those decisions, go to a school, go to a hospital, go to a charity. You want to give your work away for free? Do it that way. Don't give it to a company, don't give it to a business, don't give it to someone trying to make money. Give it to someone trying to make the world a better place. Give it to a friend, give it to family. Those are the types of things, if you want to give your money away for free, do it that way. And the idea that you're going to get better experience, whatever, from the people hiring you for free, chances are if someone wants to hire you for free, they're not going to be a great art director. They're not going to know exactly what's right. They might give you bad instructions and make your work suffer, and then you have crappy samples because they're not willing to pay for a real professional, so now they're doing their own version of art directing. Don't give your work away for free. Don't give your work away for free. Work for yourself, work at McDonald's, and you're doing better. Don't give your work away for free. Don't give your work away for free. It's day 97. And that means
3 days left!